Now, another good resources I just want to mention, since it was on the resources there, is IndianaCareCircle.org. It's another resource to use. It is a group of local professionals, all dedicated to helping seniors. Now, how do you determine which one of the facilities is best suited for you? Well, which one will fulfill your loved one's needs? Well, what first thing you need to talk about it? You need to open up the discussion. And the best time to talk about it, of course, is before you need to. And a lot of people have a lot of difficulties with that. It's hard to raise it, but the reasons vary from person to person when you need to start it. You might be in a medical crisis, you have no choice. That's what often happens. You have to start the discussion. But otherwise, you may just see that your loved one's having difficulty with day-to-day living skills, and you know that something isn't right and things could be better. So you want to start talking about it. It's a non-confrontational conversation, and you have to remember that it's all about them. It's not about you. That helps a lot. And if you are not in a medical crisis, you can take your time. Give them time to get used to it. Don't plan on sitting down and solving it all in one sitting, because it's not going to happen. It's you're going to meet a lot of disagreement, and they're going to be very defensive. Just talk about it. Have several conversations. There is going to be a point you might want to have a family meeting and have the whole family involved in it, which is always good. But let that take a little time. Let the ideas set in that we probably need to explore some options. And talk to everybody that's relevant to the situation. Recently, my mother had a friend, 93 years old. They've been in the same bridge club for almost 60 years. And the friend was getting dementia, but she was still playing bridge. I'm not sure what kind of bridge she said they were playing, but they were still playing bridge. And she had a housekeeper come in pretty regularly, almost full-time, into her home. Very small community that they lived in. And this woman, she had volunteered at the nursing home. She knew everybody there. Everybody knew her because she was 93 years old, so a lot of her friends were there. And her daughters, who had seldom came up to see her, they lived in Kentucky, she lived in Ohio, came in one day and took her away to a nursing home down in Kentucky. The daughters decided that, well, of course, they are family, so that she needed to be near them, but they also decided that they would put her, instead of, they lived in 2 different cities, that they would put their mother in between, in a nursing home, which was at least a half-hour drive, if not more, for each one of them. There wasn't a lot of discussion here. Of course, the bridge club was all in an outrage. I wonder what would have happened if maybe they would have had some discussion. There's an excellent nursing home right there in town, obviously where she volunteered at. Could the daughters have come up to visit more often? Put her in the nursing home right there in her hometown where she knew everybody and was comfortable? There was 8 ladies in the bridge club to start with that would have volunteered to come in and see her, and then there was the church. Could a little of discussion, maybe some outside of the box thinking, might have made her last year's a little more comfortable. So when you think about talking to it, do you think about other people that could be involved and could help you with the situation? So at some point then too, you're going to schedule a family meeting. Now, when you have the meeting, make sure you have an agenda. If you go in just kind of blind, you're going to wander all over the place. So you need to have an agenda, and I do have some brochures or some papers on how to have a family meeting. But some of the things you want to have is a medical update. Let's know what condition mom and dad are in. Think about what are really their daily care and needs. This can be very deceptive. The brother who lives out of town has no clue on what the sister is doing every day for mom and dad, and you really need to, and what mom and dad are trying to and struggling to do on their own. You need a list of what they need to care every day. Financial concerns. A lot of people, they don't want to talk about their finances. They don't want to tell their children how much money they have, or it's just, in some families, I know like mine, we just never discuss finances. It's not a proverb. But you need to get it out on the table because you need to see where they're going to go and how, what they can afford. And reach out to